Hey, you're listening to Commander Cookout Podcast, episode 152. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan, and today we're going to continue the Arc of EDHNM by talking about a deck that's totally a 7. Now hit our theme song! Hey, Ryan. We're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
Good. What's going down?
Whole ton is going down. Today we're going to continue our arc of doing decks that we play with in our local meta. We're going to talk about a deck that is totally an average power level of probably 7.
Yeah.
Maybe 8.
That's a thing. Nope, 7.
Yeah, it's definitely a 7. But before we do any of that, we're going to talk about our official sponsor, face2facegames.com. They're Canada's biggest Magic store.
Ooh, very much so. I've got a shopping cart started with them for Black Friday.
Ooh, I bought like one card from them last week.
Oh, yeah? What card was it?
It was a extended art Torbrand, because now I have one of each.
Huh?
Well, I have like a regular Torbrand, and then a foil regular Torbrand, and an extended art foil Torbrand, and then I'll get an extended art Torbrand, and then my play set of Torbrand, I'll have one of each print, because I'm a completionist.
Oh,
yeah,
a completionist. Is that a thing?
I think so.
For
You gotta have the whole set of something. You need every single My Little Pony. You need every single goblin. I have one of every sliver at least. No, I have 4 of every sliver.
You're a sliver completionist.
They're not foil anymore because too much.
Too much,
The first sliver just was like, nope, not going to do it. Not doing it.
Yeah, that's right. You paid out the nose for your regular first slivers when they first came out. Now they're like tanked down to $7, but them foils though.
Yeah, them foils though. Oh.
Yeah, that's it.
Turns out those premium products that aren't for everybody can still maintain some of that foil value.
Ooh, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about Arc of EDHNM. This is episode 3 in the arc. We've got, I think, a doubleheader next week, right?
We do. Well,
With,
we're going to record a doubleheader and then we'll release the doubleheader.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think people know what doubleheader means.
I spoiled locally what our bonus episode's going to be.
No.
So 7 people know.
Oh, perhaps the people that you went for beers with after EDHNM.
The perks of going for post EDHNM beers is you might get an insight into what we're going to be doing.
Oh, I got it. If you go to youtube.com/c/Commander Cookout Podcast, you can watch the pre-show. If you go to post EDHNM beer night, you get the empty or the Commander Cookout post show. Got there.
I like it. It's just us drinking beer and having fun. It was a great time.
Yes, very much so.
Shout out to all those guys and to our local game store owner, Aaron. It was his birthday last night.
Oh, yeah.
So shout out to him.
Did he go to beers?
He did.
That's probably why everybody came.
Yeah, we all went, and then Aaron's crew came, and Aaron sat with us instead of them because they were being nerds and playing Magic in the bar.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You know, I've been saying to Aaron for months, he should like go and talk to the bar so we can all just go and play there like the whole night. They got back rooms and stuff, don't they?
I don't know if they do.
Listen, walk in, I don't know, $10 all night. They just bring you pictures. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. That sounds like our Extra Life charity event we went to.
That was an excellent time.
I spent lots of money. I don't usually go to the bar, but I went to 3 bars. I went to 2 bars, but I went to them like 4 different times during the day. So that was great. Lots of pictures. You had a story to tell that I told you not to spoil on the pre-show.
Oh yeah. So this is just, it shows the how much fun you can have at a beer night having beers with your friends, and the folly of building a building for fashion more than function.
Oh yeah.
So we were at a new bar, just opened, like it was maybe 10 days open here in town.
Yep.
And we were up in this like loft space, and the floor, rather than being a floor, was a bunch of like, I don't know if they were 2x4s, whatever it was. It was like slat flooring where you could like see through the spaces between the boards.
They were 2x4s stood up like the tall way and then all screwed together such that they made a big balcony style floor above the rest of the bar.
Yes, above the rest of the bar. So there's people underneath us. Sitting, drinking, eating. And me and Aiden, we cheers our schooners together, and we weren't like being crazy. There was like regular just clinking glasses over how awesome Goblin Bombardment is. And the bottom of his full schooner just fell out of his glass. And all of the beer, of course, went with it onto the floor.
I didn't know that's why you were cheering. Oh, man, Goblin Bombardment's awesome. Yeah, clink.
Well, I played in like every deck that has red in it because it's the best card that there is. And so then all this beer hits the floor, goes through the cracks in the floor, and just falls onto the people who are sitting there eating underneath us.
That's so excellent. I was down getting another beer because it was like a go back to the counter and serve yourself. They don't serve you in the balcony. That's just kind of like their free space because they're also a restaurant and a brewery there. So I was down there ordering a beer, and I was just in line to pay and pick up my beer. And I see Aiden come down, and he's just like drenched. This is like a 30-ounce schooner. This is a jug of beer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you wearing your beer? He's like, because I seen it on his shirt, and he was like, feel my pants. So I'm feeling his pants, and he is like, from his crotch down to his knees, soaked. So that was definitely the highlight of the night, and I missed it.
It was a good time. And that was like our 4th or 5th schooner that night. And then on the way back to the event, we stopped at another bar and had another one.
Yeah, we were at Prairie Sun Brewery, commandercookout@gmail.com for business inquiries, just saying.
Yeah.
And we drank a bunch there. We came back, and Aiden was like, I didn't even eat anything. I'm hungry. And we were like, hey, look at this door. It leads to food. So we went into another bar, and he just like ordered a burger, and everybody got wings and fries. And I was just like, I wanted to go play Magic. Better get another schooner. So it wasn't too long for me after that. I stayed there till about 12:30, and Justin, new EDHNM friend Justin, drove me home.
Yeah, from New Zealand, right?
Yes.
That's pretty fun.
Yes. He of all places moved from New Zealand to PA. Sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, dude, that's like the most tragic story I've ever heard.
Oh, that's great. So what do we got here? This is Arc of EDHNM. Before we get to it, couple quick social media coordinates. Get after them.
You can find us at CCOPodcast and CCO Brando on Twitter and tappedout.net. That's where you can find most of the deck lists we do. I don't think we've been adding these ones just because they're on a myriad of different platforms.
Yeah.
So check out the show notes below for that kind of stuff. Or commandercookout@gmail.com. There's still time to get your lists in for this arc, as we are still picking decks that we're going to use in upcoming episodes. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, patreon.com/CCOPodcast. And then you can find a more complete rundown of all the places you can find us anywhere ever at our official home on the entire internet, CommanderCookout.com.
Yes, and don't forget CommanderCookout.com/store, playmats and new CCO stickers.
And shirts.
Very much so. Arc of EDHNM, list 3. Totally a 7.
Totally, absolutely a 7. It's jank. It doesn't play any of the fast mana. It's totally a 7.
Define fast mana for us, because I think everybody in their own mind or meta has an idea of what fast mana is. For our purposes today in this conversation, when you say fast mana, what are you talking about?
When somebody says to me, now in my head I have a different construction than what I'm about to say, but when somebody tells me that they don't play fast mana in their deck, that tells me that they don't play maybe Sol Ring. They might not play Sol Ring. They probably do.
They might not, but that one is generally accepted as fine.
And then we got Mana Crypt, we got Mana Vault, we got Mox Diamond, and Lotus Petal, and all those things that are free artifacts, turn 1, make 40 mana, play Kozilek.
Yeah, Grim Monolith. We'll put Metalworker in there.
Sure.
Lotus Petal. Did you say that one?
I said Lotus Petal.
Chrome Mox.
Sure. Lion's Eye Diamond.
Oh, yeah, Lion's Eye Diamond. That one you have to build around, but we're still going to count it as fast mana because it leads to...
It gives you 3 for 0.
Yeah, and you're going to use it to do something that's before I can do something, right?
Yes.
Right? What's the other Mox? Did I say Chrome Mox?
Chrome Mox, Mox Diamond. But they were all... You get it. It's all those really, like, monetarily expensive mana rocks.
One card and some amount of mana gives you more mana than you started with, and you can repeat that effect over and over just by like starting your turn and untapping them.
Yes. Now in real life, and how you look at it in your brain or in a deck like this, fast mana can also include anything that taps for 1 that only costs you 1. So when you untap on turn 1, you have 2 mana as opposed to just 1.
Those would be what we traditionally call mana dorks.
Yes.
Right? And when we are focusing for this arc on communication, so everybody has a good play experience at their local EDH night or friend group, and we say, what power level is your deck? And you say, a 7.
Everybody says 7.
Everybody's deck is a fucking 7. And that could mean a couple different things. It could mean, that's how fast my deck is. It's got a bunch of combos but no tutors. It's got a bunch of mana dorks but no real payoff. I win with a Crater Hoof that I just randomly draw. Like, it could mean so many different things that we were talking about it last week. So listen to episode 151. Near the end of the episode, we were talking about the questions that you ask to make sure that you are on the same page. This deck today is our boy John's deck. It's a Chulainn deck, so why don't you give Chulainn a read?
Chulainn, Teller of Tales, new from the Brawl decks, is a 2/4 for 5. What is this color combination?
Bant.
Bant and 2. He has Vigilance. He says, whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card, then you may put a land from your hand into play. What the fuck? Then you can tap 3 in him to return target creature you control to its owner's hand.
So Bant for any of the new members of CCO Nation, blue, white, green, 2 for a 2/4.
Yeah.
Play a creature, draw a card, play a land.
Wow.
So you basically get all of the best things. You get to further your creature strategy because that's what you're going to do anyways, but then you get to draw a card for that. As if that wasn't enough, you get to play a land for free. Okay. If you have nothing to do, if there's nothing left in your hand after all of that for whatever reason, 3, tap, return target creature you control to its owner's hand.
Do it again.
So what if your creature, when it enters a battlefield, gives you another land or lets you draw a card so you can actually double up on Chulainn's ability?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this guy is a piece of shit. It's like, oh yeah, there's no such thing as casual Urza. Like, that's the joke.
Yeah.
Right? There's almost no such thing as casual Chulainn, but our friend John says, no, this deck's a 7, it never wins.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just and when I scanned through the list, it's like, oh, sure, whatever. Like, I figured I'm gonna trust in what John tells me. I'm gonna look at this. I'm gonna just accept it at the word and see where it goes.
Which is a great way to have a friendship. Is built on trust, and this is okay. We're not gonna scumbag each other. And I don't think it was John's intention for us to use the deck because he called it a 7 and that it's jank and it's fine because he was like lying to us. F you if it was, John.
Yeah, dude.
But I think he's running into the fact that he's got 19 mana dorks in here.
What?
2 of them cost 3 mana when they ETB you search for a land. So if we don't count those, even though I just mentioned that in Chulainn's ability, you can double up on it if you have like an ETB creature. If you don't count those, we've got 17 things at the 1 and 2 drop slot that either put an additional land into play or let you tap for some amount of mana, and that doesn't count Cryptolith Rite, which gives all your creatures the ability to tap for any color mana.
Turns all your dudes into Gemhide Slivers.
Or Birds of Paradise is the...
F Birds of Paradise. He's been replaced by a goose.
Well, which this deck plays.
Yeah, he also plays the goose.
This deck could actually play Gemhide Sliver.
It could.
Because Gemhide just taps for 1 of any color like Birds of Paradise.
Yeah.
So there you go, John. There's some free advice to bring your deck from a 7 to a 9. So once we kind of get through, we're gonna go a little bit quicker through some of the categories we typically go through to give people kind of the idea of what the deck's trying to do, because John says it never wins. We're going to tell you what it does, and then we're going to theorize as to, in a casual meta, why it might not win, and then maybe make some suggestions if you or somebody you know has a deck like this that they're just running the table with. And maybe we could give you some suggestions to, I don't want to say power it down, but make it more fun in a casual meta.
Can you do that with Chulainn? It's hard.
It's tricky, but I mean, come on. One of our examples for a long time was Sea Monster's Tribal Zur.
That's true. Yeah, I guess you could just, instead of filling this up with low drop mana dorks, you could fill it full of things that cost 5.
Yeah.
Everything cost 5 Chulainn, and I'll bet you'd probably still win.
Yeah, you probably would. You know what? Here's the thing. I mean, John says Chulainn value, and you could put it in... You could build a deck where all the creatures ETB and draw you a card. And while that would still be powerful, lots of things that draw you a card when they ETB cost 4 or 5 and have small bodies, and you'd maybe have to find a different way to win, like I'd mentioned Crater Hoof or Overwhelming Stampede or something, instead of comboing your entire deck into Lab Maniac, which is the current iteration of the deck.
Yeah, that's what the Chulainn deck does. And it's what this Chulainn deck does.
So
But remember, Ryan, before we go on, Totally a 7.
Totally a 7.
Yeah. No mana crypt, no mana vault. It's a 7.
And only one free counter spell.
It just and it's the best one for the deck that we're playing.
Yeah, it should be noted too that like when you're playing blue in a competitive environment or a very highly tuned environment, you do have access to at least 3 free counter spells in Pact of Negation, Force of Will, and Force of Negation, and you've got access to a myriad of 1-drop counter spells, of course. And then because you're playing green, you also have Force of Vigor, which is free, which can get rid of troublesome artifacts or enchantments. And what is it? What's the green pact that lets you search for a green creature?
Summoner's Pact?
Summoner's Pact, which isn't a counterspell, but it does let you immediately win the game for free because you're tutoring for a green creature.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we could find a way to make that a win condition in this deck.
Yeah. By putting it in the deck, it becomes a win condition for the deck.
What did I say when we were walking into the studio? I said, this is literally just Bant Animar.
Bantamar.
Yes, Bantamar is what you called it.
Yes.
I'm sure if you overlaid my Animar deck and this Chulainn deck, you'd see 60 to 70% of the same deck.
Yes.
So if you're familiar with CEDH Animar, you're in for a treat.
Yeah. All right. So should we talk about some creatures? Should we start with the creatures?
Let's do it. We're going to do some clumpings.
Okay, we're going to clump some dorks. As we said, there's a bunch of them. So we're going to go Avacyn's Pilgrim, Bird of Paradise, Boreal Druid, Beastcaller Savant, Elvish Mystic, Gilded Goose, Gyre Engineer, Incubation Druid, Leaf Gilder, Leafkin Druid, Landwar Elves, Mara Leaf Pixie, Naga Vitalist, Orochi Sustainer, Paradise Druid, Quirion Elves, Rosethorn Acolyte, and Sylvian Caryatid.
So I wasn't keeping track on my hands and toes, but it sounded like a ton of 1- and 2-drop dudes, dorks, that tap for mana.
Yes.
So
there are several of them.
Several. I'm going to, whatever, it was 10. Let's just pretend it was 10. That's a ton.
That's lots.
You're in your opening 8 cards, you're between 50 and 60% to get at least one. So that immediately puts Chulainn down on turn 4 instead of turn 5. And if you get any more mana accelerants, you can get a turn 3 Chulainn, which means turn 4 you could potentially look at winning.
Yeah. Look hard at winning.
Oof, baby.
Like you're like winning walks by and you're like that meme where the dude's walking with his girlfriend and he's just turning around checking out that other girl super hard.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
It's like you, and then you're walking with the game, and then the girl walking by is winning the game. That's the meme that's there. All right, so let's talk some more creatures.
Oh, there are creatures in this deck, baby. 46 of them total.
Die.
Hey, we haven't said this for a long time. Is this a creature deck?
No, it's a combo deck. Right?
Yeah.
It's a dirty, rotten combo deck. Doesn't even win in the combat step. Is it a real deck?
I don't know. Are 7's even decks? Like,
No,
here's the thing. If you're not playing 10, bro, or jank 3s, you're not playing Magic.
EDHNM, some of the guys, actually, this is a total aside, are actually trying to start a thing where you buy 2 of those $100 card dollar store repacks.
Yes.
And you just build a deck out of that trash with a commander that's $5 or less and play that. There's like 4 decks already in the meta. It's crazy.
So basically, I could just show up with Lord of Tressorhorn?
No.
Didn't somebody pull a Force of Will out of one of those?
Yes.
Oh, so sick. Yeah, I'll just take my $4 100 card stack from the fucking dollar store. Casual Force of Will, whatever.
It happens like 1 in a bazillion. Although...
No, you know what happens 1 in a bazillion? You shuffle, like just habitually for half an hour. Then with your 100 card stack, you flip over 2 Daughter Bottoms consecutively playing Open Flippy.Drinky.
That happened.
And I had to drink.
Hard.
Oh, baby.
The most drink.
The same night, foil Razaketh. Hammered.
I opened a Blood Moon Invocation that night.
Oh, also hammered.
Yeah,
we had an entire Rubbermaid Tupperware filled with packs. The picture exists somewhere on Twitter.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, creatures.
Creature.
Let's start with one of my new favorite creatures and favorite creature arts in Lotus Cobra.
Yeah, my claim to fame and vintage, remember. Landfall, get a land of any color. It costs 2 mana. That's what it does. It's going to go infinite with Chulainn when you can infinitely get every mana out of your deck with something like your Fairhaven Elf. Also in the deck.
Yes. Fairhaven Elf is the next creature in line, so we'll skip over that one. Go to Eternal Witness. Everybody knows Eternal Witness. We're going to skip over that one. Go to
That one's going to get something that you sacrifice back from your graveyard when you can infinitely bounce it with your Chulainn.
That's right. Aegis of the Gods.
Oh, here's one. 2/1 for 2, enchantment creature, so you can find it with your idyllic tutor or your enlightened tutor. You have hexproof. So John, this deck's a 7. Got you. I got you. This is how you make it an 8 or a 9. Enlightened tutor. Put your Aegis of the God on top. Flash something in with Allurin, also in the deck. Draw your card from Chulainn. Flash in your Aegis of the God with Allurin.
Stop that comet storm.
Boom. You're playing CEDH, bro. That's why his deck's a 7. He didn't figure out that combo.
He didn't see the line. I get it. How about Meat Gazer?
Meat Gazer?
Yeah, Meat Gazer is somebody that when you go in and you're at the urinal and you're peeing, and somebody's just like straight up looking at your shit.
Is that what that guy's doing?
It's a Meat Gazer. Nah, it's an arboreal grazer. I just wanted to talk about what a Meat Gazer is.
Okay.
That happened to somebody in the bathroom last night. The guy, he just comes stomping down the hallway. Some guy in the bathroom is just looking at my dick. This is not something you expect to hear.
That is not okay. Anybody who's doing that, just stop.
Just stop doing that, guys.
It's an 0/3 for green, reach, who cares? Enters the battlefield, land from your hand onto the battlefield tapped.
Could this be a Sakura Tribe Scout? Nah, that's not fast enough.
It's fine. This one you bounce and play again, and you get an extra land to go to the next guy.
Tatiova Benthic Druid?
To draw a card and gain a life. So when you draw that card and it's a creature and you can put it right into play, you can just draw another card, play another land, draw another card, play another land. Yeah, you're seeing where this is going to go. Go to the next one.
Oh, Beast Whisperer.
Cast a creature spell, draw a card, draw another card, gain a life, put a land into play, draw another card,
gain
play
a life.
Another creature. You can see where this is going.
How about Collector Oath?
Okay, this is fine. Activated abilities of artifacts can't be activated. It's no wonder he's not playing your Grim Monoliths and your Mana Crypts, Mana Vaults, Sol Ring. Okay.
All right,
he's
fine.
playing Collector Oof. This is the second kind of stacksy card we've seen alongside that Aegis of the Gods.
Yeah. Also, we skipped over him, Beast Caller Savant, one of our mana dorks. I love this callback art. It's got a little Lotus Cobra wrapped around an elf guy who's got a bunch of abs. I like when they put other card things in the arts of other cards. Like those sex monkeys from whatever that was.
Uktabi orangutans?
Yeah.
Yep.
And like they're just there. Like I like stuff like that. I get a kick out of that stuff.
We should say he's a 1/1 with haste that taps to add a mana of any color to your mana pool. So essentially you spend 2 up front to get 1 immediately. But if you can untap him somehow,
yeah, he's fine.
Yeah.
You only find him in decks that are 7s.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he should probably just be a mana vault. Let's be honest.
Well, we'll see what else is in here that can maybe untap him where Mana Vault wouldn't be untapped.
I can't think of anything. How about Elvish Visionary?
Enters the battlefield, draw a card. I can't see how that would fit into the deck if you are playing lands and drawing cards and casting creatures and bouncing creatures and playing lands and drawing cards and playing creatures.
Me either. Just cut it.
Yeah.
Just cut it.
Yeah.
All right, then we have a suite of creatures in Essence Warden, Grazing Gladeheart, Jaughty Offshoot, Soul Warden, Soul's Attendant, and Sutra Priest.
All of those, and Golden Glow Moth, which I have no idea, but all of these cards gain you life. Golden Glow Moth being the worst one. When it blocks, you gain 4 life. I don't know why that's in here.
You play him in Rune Tail because he doesn't take damage, so you just gain some life and block a thing.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, short from... this is right in my notes. Short from a bunch of life gain cards that you just mentioned and a 7-drop, this is just a CEDH deck. So, I mean, if that's in here, man, we're probably okay with that.
Yeah, we already talked about Farhaven Elf. We have a Giver of Runes.
That's a Mother of Runes, except it can't target itself. Like, that matters in EDH. You tap it to give Chulainn protection from something so he doesn't get killed.
Correct. Next up is, I like this one. I like this card. Kami of False Hope.
This is another just kind of jank include where it could just be a Force of Will. But this is, you sacrifice him, Kami of False Hope, to prevent all damage that would be dealt this turn. And he's a 1/1 for white.
And he has rad art.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but it's pretty cool.
The picture is really cool. We have a Core Skyfish.
This is just a white version of anything that bounces creatures. This could be like your Mana War, your Kiriona. Hey, just FYI, John, Kiriona, look it up. This is a 2/3 flyer for white 1, so good rate there. When it enters the battlefield, return a permanent you control to its owner's hand. Can't imagine you wouldn't want to return a creature that draws you a card or a land that lets you draw a card with Tatiova in this deck.
Hell no. No. Now, I don't know why this guy's in here, I'm not going to lie. I can't see it. I see no purpose for it, but we'll talk about it, I suppose. How about a Laboratory Maniac?
2/2 Human Wizard for blue 2. If you would draw a card while your library's empty, you win the game instead of lose.
Man, that's some 7 shit.
So, you know what? See the first 25 minutes of this show. You might find the answer as to why Laboratory Maniac is in this list.
Maybe. Let's skip over some more dorks. We have a Rex Sage. I think everybody knows Rex Sage at this point, hey?
ETBs destroys an artifact or enchantment.
Seagate Oracle.
Seagate Oracle enters the battlefield for 3 mana. Look at the top 2 of your library. Put 1 into your hand, 1 onto the bottom. This could also be a generous patron for the same mana cost, except green 2. You could add counters to your opponent's creatures. You could add +1/+1 counters to your opponent's creatures, and then just draw both cards instead of having to put 1 on the bottom.
Ooh.
Just saying there, John.
Interesting altar you could maybe do with a Seagate Oracle if you were so inclined or were good at painting cards. Check out the Facebook page every Thursday for new auctions. You could paint this to look like Sam Witwicky from Transformers, and that's the cube from...
I have... Yeah,
you probably haven't seen Transformers.
You know what, I have, but I mean that came out in like 2006.
It'd be cool. I think people would.
Just another movie that's going right over Ryan's head. By the by, I do have an Altered Art Seagate Oracle. I have one already. So,
what about a What the hell? Word Silhalla Wayfinder?
Silhana?
Silhana?
I don't know. It enters the battlefield. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You can put a land or a creature, right?
Yes.
From among them, and the rest go onto the bottom.
Sure. How about a Siren Storm Tamer?
Yeah, this isn't a CEDH card at all. This is a 1/1 flyer for 1. Blue, sack it, counter target spell or ability that targets you or a creature you control.
Yeah. How about Skullwinder?
This is a Death Touch 1/3 for 3. When it enters the battlefield, return target card from your graveyard to your hand, then choose an opponent, and they do the same. So, yeah, it's fine. That's fine. I mean, you could probably... It's a creature that returns something from your graveyard, so it's good.
Sure. Spore Frog, I think, is another one that everybody knows. Sack it to Fog. Spore Fog.
Yeah, Fog Frog.
I like that, too.
Yeah, that's it.
But Shinsuke Nakamura, Fugitive.
This is a creature for blue 1. It's a 1/3. Creatures you control with power or toughness 1 or less can't be blocked. This is a weird one, and like if John's thinking he's using this as a win condition, that's a little bit weird.
Yeah, like if you're gonna swing in with your dorks, like
the Kamiya False Hope and the Spore Frog are a little bit of a weird include because I mean you want a combo and they're gonna help you, but you can also recur them to have a Spore Frog after like you bounce your Eternal Witness and play it again. You could have a Spore Frog every turn. I get why they're in there, but this one is just weird.
Yeah, I don't get it. That's a 7.
Definitely.
That's the card that makes it a 7. And the last card is a Sylvan Ranger.
That just searches for a basic, puts it into your hand.
So there's the creature suite. Sweet, as it were. We'll do some instants real fast.
Yeah, there are 4 instants.
We have an Enlightened Tutor.
That searches for an enchantment or artifact, put it onto the top. It's going to search for an enchantment in this deck.
Yes. Pact of Negation.
Free counterspell.
Reclaim.
Green, put a card from your graveyard on top of your library. This should actually be a... What's the green Phyrexian one? Phyrexian Noxious Revival.
Noxious Revival.
That's pretty good right there, especially because he's playing life gain.
Ryan, it's only a 7.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, man. Last one is Swan Song.
Counter target enchantment, instant, or sorcery. Its controller gets a 2/2.
You ever see somebody go on the beatdown climb with that bird?
I have sort of. I've seen a Swan Song bird get equipped with a sword of whatever and get in for some beats.
Just
for sure.
Get in there and fuck people's lives up. I like that. Let's talk some sorceries. There's 4 of these as well.
Sure.
First one, Camaraderie.
Ooh, this is one we don't see very often.
I've never seen this card before.
You know what? Yes, you have. Shut your mouth.
It's got an elephant on it. I like it.
Yeah, it's something that is pretty good in most circles. I don't think it's CEDH playable though. Regardless, white, green, 4, gain X life, draw X cards, where X is the number of creatures you control. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. So this is like your overrun effect, but it's also just like your draw 19 cards effect.
Yes. It also turns off that ninja guy.
In some cases, you could still attack with your Golden Glow Moth because it still has 1 power.
Oh,
baby, Golden Glow Moth beats when you permanently bounce your Camaraderie with your Eternal Witness and Chulainn, and you only have Eternal Witness, Chulainn, Umezawa, and Golden Glow Moth. You have those 4 cards, so you don't draw yourself out. Fuck it, you could draw yourself out because you have Lab Man.
Yeah.
Gee. I'm trying to find ways to make it not good. It's like you just draw everything. Man.
You want to talk about terrible cards, Ryan?
Yeah.
Terrible cards with animals in their art even. How about Glimpse of Nature? This isn't any good.
Oh, baby. So there is a redundancy of this effect in the deck to the tune of 4 or 5 cards that do this. Whenever you play a creature, draw a card.
Ooh.
So Chulainn does it. Glimpse does it. Guardian Project does it when we hit enchantments. Beast Whisperer does it, and Zendikar Resurgent does it. Again, when we look at enchantments.
They got an Idyllic Tutor.
3 mana Enlightened Tutor at sorcery speed.
And a Regrowth.
Return target card from your graveyard to your hand.
Sorcery not being played proves it's a 7. There's no Beckon Call.
That is like whenever a creature enters the battlefield, draw a card?
Yep.
Oh, it's Glimpse of Nature, but for 2 mana on a split card. And the 6 mana Azorius side is you get 4 bird tokens.
Yeah, so if you do both, you just draw 4 cards, and then you have a Glimpse of Nature effect that goes to the end of turn.
Yeah, not terrible.
Yeah, there's a whole modern deck based around it.
Yeah. So let's look at enchantments now, I think, right?
Yes, these are the ones that will push it over the top to prove to everybody listening right now that this deck is a goddamn 7, and nobody out there ever will ever convince me that this deck is not a 7 after we've read the next 6 cards.
Even if you have like turn 1 mana dork, turn 2 mana dorks, turn 3 Chulainn win?
No.
Oh.
No, this deck is a 7. Let me prove it to you.
Sure.
Let me prove it to you by talking about Aluren.
Green 2. Any player may pay a creature spell casting... Fuck. Oh, man. That's what the fucking... I don't even know what I was saying. All right.
Okay, we got this. We're professionals. Okay.
Any player can play creatures with converted mana cost 3 or less for free whenever they can play an instant. You know what the best part of Aluren is? People forget that they can do it too. It's like Dream Halls.
I was about to say,
we can do it.
It's symmetrical, bro.
Yeah.
It's not even that good. What if you play Aluren and just get blown out by the Goblin player?
You know what? Usually, goblins have to attack to win. This deck doesn't. So if I can infinitely bounce and recast my creatures that all say draw a card or draw 4 cards, I'm just going to win. Right? As soon as you start to go off with Aluren, there's not really any stopping it, and it's a hell of a drug.
It's a hell of a card.
So how do we do that? Let's see the next couple cards. How are we going to do that?
We have a symmetrical play creatures for free with Flash. That's fine. That's not even that good. Cryptolith, right?
That makes all your creatures tap for a mana of any color. Fine.
Yeah, whatever. It just turns them into dorks. You already have lots of dorks. Guardian Project.
Cast a creature. If it has a different name than any other creature, which it will, draw a card. So this is, what did I say, the 4th or 5th time we've seen this effect? What are the other 2 effects that are right below it?
Zendikar Resurgent?
Doubles all your mana. Who cares? We don't care about that because we're playing Aluren and 19 mana dorks. Whenever you cast a creature, draw a card.
It costs 7, Ryan.
We've got 7. Trust me. Trust me, we have 7.
Now this is just, I think this might be a bad include too.
Sure.
This is proof of the 7-ness. Okay?
This is a very CCO card though, yo.
It is. It's got a picture of you and I on it.
It kind of does.
And it costs green 4. Okay? You skip your draw phase.
I'm listening.
Which is only good in CCO Nation and nowhere else. Whenever during your discard phase, you discard all but 2 cards from your hand.
I like this too. We're playing EWIT. We could bounce it all we want.
Yeah, so like your maximum hand size is now 2. And whenever you play a card, draw a card.
Play a card, draw a card, hey? Can't imagine how that would be broken with Chulainn and Tatiova and the all the things that say draw a card on them.
Note it says play a card, not cast a card, so land also counts.
Yes.
It's fine. It's medium. It's fine.
Yeah.
The card only costs like $1. It can't be that strong.
In this deck, it's good. You know what? How do we keep playing cards? How do we do it? What do we do to continue to play cards over and over again?
You know, Ryan, I play this card in lots of decks.
Yes.
And I know for a fact
it's broken in every deck you play it in.
It's just fine.
I think everybody already knows what it is.
Okay, I'll give you a second. Everybody can guess.
It's Intruder
It's
Alarm.
Intruder Alarm.
So Intruder Alarm is an enchantment for blue 2. Creatures don't untap during their controller's untap step, so everything can stay locked down. There are Intruder Alarm locks where you make it so your opponents can't cast creatures and their current creatures are tapped. But it also says whenever a creature enters the battlefield, untap all creatures. So with your mana dorks, you cast a creature, all creatures will untap. And you'll remember that Chulainn's got that 3-tap bounce a creature rider below his good ability. So you bounce one of your mana dorks and you cast it again, and Chulainn will untap. So you can infinitely do this over and over, drawing cards every time till you hit your lab man, or till you have infinite life, or until you have infinite storm count, whatever way you want to win the game, or until you hit your Ewit to get your win condition out of your graveyard back. Whatever it is, you can do it with Intruder Alarm.
7. All right, last card that isn't a land. There's one artifact. I have killed myself with this card so many times by accident. It is an Alhammarret's Archive.
You know what? I appreciate this card in this deck. We've got some suggestions and cuts for the list based on how well we're able to communicate as a Magic player. This card is not one of them. It's a 5/5 legendary artifact. If you would gain life, gain twice that much life. Maybe he's riffing off that with his life gain cards.
Yeah.
Maybe. If you would draw a card, except for the first one you draw each turn, draw 2 cards instead. So that's fine.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's a cool card. It does lots of neat stuff, and it does what the deck wants to do.
You know what I'm testing out in my Animar deck?
This?
No. Get out of here. I'm testing out the Great Henge. Soul of the Harvest is a 6-drop, 2 in Animar, of course. Non-token creature enters battlefield, draw a card. The Great Henge, green, minus X based on your biggest guy.
So green.
Green, and then you get your green back and gain 2 life. I'm testing that because that says whenever you cast a creature, draw a card, then put a +1 on that creature. So that card could probably go in this deck.
Seems pretty good.
There's another suggestion for John.
Yeah, because the deck isn't 7 enough already. You want to bring it down by playing like jank enchantments from the new set.
Yeah, you know what? So it's good that you bring that up. We've got a couple potential cuts. Suggestions, if you will, to kind of make the deck maybe run a little bit smoother or be a lot less combo-y. What you want to avoid in a more casual meta, even if this isn't a tuned or CEDH deck per se, to make the deck run so it isn't just solitaire into, oh, I win, or I'm going to solitaire, can you stop me? If not, I win. This is what I would suggest. Cuts. Allurin.
Yes.
Oh, dude. Have you ever cast Allurin?
Yes.
Whew.
I play Allurin and Intruder Alarm in my Sliver deck.
Yep.
For the exact same reason that they play them in this deck.
I used to play both of them in Animar.
Like they're insane.
Yeah. In my next one, Intruder Alarm, Glimpse of Nature, because it's the 1 mana version of cast a card, draw a card. Cast a creature, draw a card.
You could replace Glimpse of Nature with Beck and Call, and it would actually slow the deck down. It would make the deck much more casual.
Yeah. Or the Great Henge. I know the Great Henge is like $15 or $20, but ultimately that is half the price of a Glimpse. If you don't have one at home there, CCO Nation. Lab Maniac, just to take out that win. Pact of Negation, just because free counter spells are never a fun time whenever they're cast against you, unless everybody is sitting down and knows that they're playing 10 out of 10, fully tuned, powered up CEDH.
Does Force of Will have a spot in like a casual deck? Not my deck is a 7, but like, you know, this is my casual deck. I don't pump it full of combos. It's kind of frail, you know. It doesn't have a lot of protection. I'm not packing a whole bunch of interaction. Do you still run the, like, you always run a tutor, like every deck gets a tutor.
Every deck could just play one thing. Game's got to end kind of thing.
Yeah, like do you have Force to protect? Like it's time to win. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna have this.
Oh, you know what? I just went through on a mental journey because I said game's got to end. Well, Force of Will just lets me tap out, and then make your game not end when you tutor.
Yeah.
But then you said, I'm trying to win. I've got backup with Force of Will. Here's my Exsanguinate for 30 because I have to tap everything. Everybody's going to dice at me. Somebody counterspells. I Force of Will in response.
Yeah, game's over.
Game's over.
That's what I think. When I look at Force, that's what I play Force to do. On the rare occasions where I play one,
you are being proactive trying to win versus trying to set up your lock or your combo or your control board.
Yeah, rarely will I use it to stop something else unless it's going to end my game. But I won't just get a thing unless that thing's going to kill me. I'll usually use it to protect my own thing. That's just me.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose it's fine there. If you're playing a deck that is very proactive, then I think that there could be a spot for it. Yeah. Alongside Pact and Force of Negation. I mean, if you're playing 3 of them, then people are going to expect it more, but they're also going to not want to play against the deck as much if they know that you can just willy-nilly counter whatever you want whenever you want.
Yeah. Saw that last night too, Jesus.
And here's the thing. I don't want to sound like a broken record over the course of this arc, but communication. In part of your pregame conversation, you can say something like, I have a force and a pact and a pact. Or a force and a pact? How does it go?
I don't know how do you even say that?
Paco negation? I don't know. Whatever.
Forso negato, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, whatever it is. I have these 3 free counterspells. They're in there to protect my win condition, right? I win through creatures, so it's going to be like an overrun effect or some big creature attacky thing that I don't want you to counter. That's how I'm going to try and win, right?
Sure.
I'm not going to infinitely bounce my Ewit to cast my lab man and then counter whatever you do to stop me, right? I don't know. Yes, you just have to communicate it.
It's important.
That's the answer, I guess.
Yes. In case you haven't picked up on this also, speaking of communication, we said that the deck was a 7. The deck's not a fucking 7. No matter what anybody says, this deck isn't a 7.
As soon as it starts to go off,
it goes off.
Yeah.
You can... The mathematics of a deck like this say you're probably going to win the same turn you play Chulainn.
That's right. And you know what? My Zata deck operates in a very similar fashion with a far lower chance to go off because I don't have as much just redundancy in the cast a creature, draw a card category. I don't have protection that blue and green offers, and I can't make the mana quite like this deck can reliably because I'm running fast mana, but I don't have 19 mana dorks. So if that deck is a CEDH deck, and this one can draw more cards, can make more mana sooner, and has protection, right? That's why it's important to talk and communicate.
Just because it's a deck packed full of 1/1s and you don't have the protection suite and your dudes are just kind of flapping in the air a little bit and they die to spot removal or sweepers, we'll get into that in a minute, it doesn't mean that your deck isn't the most powerful thing at the table.
Yes. And you know what? Let's talk about sweepers right now because you know what? John says that this deck doesn't win a whole lot. It's not running any sweepers, but in a less powered meta, whatever it may be, I think that because you get so much card advantage off of a Wrath of God effect, more people play those than in higher powered decks where there are less creatures and more mana rocks and combo pieces. There is more pinpointed removal that's going to stab straight through one person's heart or disruption to stop somebody who's stopping you than there are sweepers because there's less creatures. That's what my experience tells me. CEDH people out there, if you know different, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, we don't play CEDH that much, but apart from Path and Swords, I feel like the most common removal you're going to see at I'm going to say air quotes regular Commander Pod, normie Commander Pod, is going to be a Wrath of God. It's going to be a chain reaction. It's going to be a Blasphemous Act.
Some kind of sweeper. Blasphemous Act's a good one because it costs 1.
Yeah.
It costs the same as Path and Swords.
Yeah, why would I play Lightning Bolt? Why would I do 3 to something when I can do 13 to everything?
You know what? Anybody who's got experience in higher tuned metas or CEDH in particular, let us know about Force of Will and normal decks too. Do you have a play set of Force of Will, 3 CEDH decks and 1 regular, and you put that regular one just so you can use it somewhere?
Yeah.
Let us know on Twitter, at CCOPodcast, at CCOBrando. Let us know in the comments on YouTube, anywhere that you find us. Let us know. I'm actually interested because Like, I have Force of Will in a deck, but it is my hard control deck that has the Arixmathes, like, overwhelming Stampede win condition.
Right.
So I give plus 12 to my whole team and then crash in. But, I mean, if you didn't see that win condition, you could maybe say that that's a CEDH deck because it's playing, like, lots of counter spells and Cyclonic Rift and good mana rocks and Graveyard Recursion. Like, it's really good.
It turned into Edris Spymaster of Trest turns.
Yeah, and then I turn it back into Arixmathes. Just, you know.
Yeah, because you know how it is.
So we cut these few cards that I suggested that we cut. Oh, Zendikar Resurgent as well. Just because it's a mana doubler that isn't really required. And it could be, maybe it could be the Great Henge. I don't know. Whatever. Defensive creature spells. That's what I would add. If he's finding that he's trying to win through like attacking with like Umezawa Fugitive Guy and he just can't do it. What about Baird Steward of Argive? That makes it so people have to pay to attack you, but it's also a creature. Windborn Muse, pay to attack you, also a creature. The Thalias that tax other players' creatures.
Well, Magus of the Moat.
Magus of the Moat. Aven Mind Sensor. These are things that are stopping your opponents from doing stuff, but are also creatures.
So you're drawing cards, playing lands.
Yeah.
And it drives you all the way to the inevitable Craterhoof Behemoth.
Yeah, right.
Which, I mean, yeah, it's Craterhoof.
You could say that that's
spicy include, guys, but like...
You could say that that's as cheesy as Labman, right?
Yeah, it is.
You could, right? And it just costs more mana.
Yeah, and more money.
What about Felidar Sovereign? He's playing that janky life gain suite. Maybe there's an end to that.
I guess you could play Felidar Sovereign, yeah.
What about Platinum Angel?
F Platinum Angel. That card sucks. Don't If you're playing that, just cut it.
Just cut it?
Just
okay.
cut it.
What about Vryn, Wingmare, and Glow Rider, and Spelltithe Enforcer? All of those make... Okay, Vryn, Wingmare, and Glow Rider make non-creature spells cost 1 more mana. So your Pact of Negation isn't free anymore, whoop-de-doo, but all of your deck's got like 46 creature in it.
Remember how every time I put out the invite to go to EDHNM, I always say hashtag no stacks?
And John always wants to play stacks on stacks against you?
Yeah.
This could be his deck. I'm just saying.
Should I turn my deck into Chulainn stacks?
That is a deck.
That's a
real deck, dude. Spelltithe Enforcer is essentially just taxes every spell your opponents play by 1. Yep. So it just makes their shit cost more. What about Grand Arbiter?
And he's an elephant.
Grand Arbiter furthers your combo. And wait, I'm doing the thing I'm telling people not to do.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Let's make the combo better and we'll add stacks to it. And we're going to build a different CEDH deck.
Communication is important.
Communication is key, kids.
See, if we didn't talk about this, I maybe wouldn't have realized it, and I would have just thought I was doing everybody a service and taking Labman out and putting Grand Arbiter Augustine IV in.
See, what we've done is we've proven that Chulainn is a difficult deck to have be casual because any of the strategies you're going to play with him are going to be so efficient and so effective because you have so much ramp and so much draw that like you kind of have to play something like Sea Monster Zur that actually sucks in order to make people believe that it's not just I'm going to play a million dorks and kill you.
And if that's the case, boy howdy, do I have the win con for you.
Ooh. Don't
think I didn't come prepared. That was a knuckle crack. Approach of the Second Sun. 7-drop sorcery. If Approach of the Second Sun was cast from your hand and you've cast another spell named Approach of the Second Sun this game, you win the game. Otherwise, put Approach of the Second Sun into its owner's library, 7th from the top, and you gain 7 life. So it plays into that janky life gain thing we're talking about. It plays well with Platinum Angel, curving right into your win con. And because all your creatures in your deck draw you a card, play you extra land, play you da-da-da, the whole deck, right? You could cast this and dig, cast it again same turn. And I don't think anybody has hard feelings about dying to double approach same turn.
I don't know, when it's infinite draw, infinite mana,
Ugh,
and you have to leave,
God dang
and
it.
you have to leave Intruder Alarm, and you have to leave Alluring in to do that, so no, I'm going to cut that one too.
Oh, dang it.
No, here it is. I got it. You cut. What do you cut? You cut something that's CEDH, and you put in a Beastmaster Ascension. There you go. And you just swing with dorks.
I'm into it.
That's what you got. And Umezawa will be there to make sure that your dorks don't get blocked, so you always get the counter on your thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you always get the counter on your thing, and you can attack. How would the triggers work? Umezawa says they can't be blocked, but when they're declared attackers, Beastmaster Ascension would trigger, and then you move to declare blockers, so they would be able to block once they're big.
But they're 6/6s at that point, and they're probably going to win.
Yeah.
They'll probably win.
Probably just win.
Yeah, and then you can play Nostalgic Dreams, so if your dudes all get wiped out in combat, you can chuck your hand that you've been building the whole game and put them all back in your hand.
Yep.
There you go, see?
Well,
you could easily make this into a actual 7.
You smirk, but I think it's true. Like, you just have to dial it back so you're not solitaring into, I probably win. Because if you don't win, nobody's having fun. If you do win, the other 3 people aren't having fun because you're just solitaring. And maybe that's not fun for you when other people don't have fun. That's why I literally practice physical card manipulation with Zada so I can get faster at it, right? So if I am doing one of those combo turns, it only takes a minute or 2 for me to dig and draw and dig and draw and dig and draw. And I know what the combo lines are, so I can just do it and say, I win this turn, can anybody stop me? And they say no, and I say, okay, I win, let's go to the next game. And it takes 1 minute.
I'll usually do the shortcutter thing where I'm like, I'm going to do this, 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 and this, and then I'm going to do this. Can you stop?
Yeah.
And they'll say, no, I don't have a force, no, I don't have removal, no, and say, okay, do you want me to show you the cards? And sometimes they'll ask me to like pull the cards out of my library just to show that I have them.
Yeah, or can you demonstrate the combo? Right,
Yeah.
and you actually have to go through the steps, and then the second time you go through it, you're just going to be like, I'm going to put this one here, this one here, this one here, this one here, and it's going to happen again. This one here, this one here, this one here, it's going to happen again. I like the shortcut when you play Omnath, where you go like fetch land, Myriad Landscape, Sakura Tribe Elder, and you're just going to go this, this, this. I'm going to crack them all at end of turn. Go ahead, and I'll find my stuff on your guys' turn. You go and search for 4 lands. I like that.
Yeah, the shortcutting is important in EDH so that the games don't... You get 4 games in a night instead of fucking 1.
Yeah. As long as you can demonstrate how you're shortcutting and there's no like, oh, I shortcutted that, but I'm going to take it back, right? Or if you're shortcutting something with a newer player who doesn't understand what you're doing and it just looks like you picked up your deck and you're searching, right? You got to be able to demonstrate and communicate what the shortcut is, and once they're familiar and comfortable with that's when it like becomes okay.
Yes.
So just for completion's sake, what did you say? Completionist?
Completionist.
We are Completionist Cookout Podcast today.
Yes, we are, CCO.
Got there. We are going to do a quick spice calculator for Chulainn and our boy John, FU, #no stacks unless it's against Brando. Popularity on EDHREC.com. He is a new commander. They've restructured EDHREC to include just the last 2 years' worth of lists. And look at that, Chulainn already at number 6.
Above Rafiki of the Lots.
Yeah.
And below Rune of the Hidden Realms.
Which could arguably go in this deck or vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Chulainn, 585 decks. Average CMC for this particular one, 2.27. That was my first indicator when I opened up the list, and I was like, 2.27? Brando, what the hell are you pointing me at here to do show notes on, man? Right? And then I looked at like all the creatures. I was all like, what the hell, man? Anyways, tutors in this deck. I'm going to say 2, the Idyllic and the Enlightened tutors.
Yeah.
Cards different than the stock list on EDHREC.com, of which Beastmaster Ascension is included.
Really?
Yeah, just because everybody wants to do cheap, efficient creatures.
Yeah.
And not everybody wants to do combo win. They just want to, like, Chulainn shit their whole deck out and then attack with, like, Concordant Crossroads and Beastmaster Ascension.
Yeah, they'll do it.
So, it's not that that's not spicy. Like, that's still a cool way to do a deck. And an efficient way. Yeah. But anyways, 31 cards different than the stock list on EDHREC.com.
That's not too bad.
Yeah. You punch it all into the spice calculator, though. It's not that much, and that second tutor does hurt, and both of those tutors are kind of spendy.
Yeah.
So we punch it all, and when we get a 38 on the spice calculator.
It's only a 7.
It's only a... I wish I could have... Here. I got this. There. Changed one number. Now it's a 37. Got there.
Excellent.
So, we didn't touch on any lands. Lands of note, this is another thing that people sometimes associate with being a competitive deck. And the lands in this deck are, like, I saw Temple of the False God. I saw the Ravnica Karuz that ETB tapped and bounce a land.
Azorius Chancery is one of them.
Yeah, I saw the Scry lands. So, in terms of, like, turn 2 or 3 Chulainn, you're probably not looking at that often because you play 5 or 6 tap lands or a temple that does like literally nothing till turn 5 or 4. So maybe the deck isn't as fast as we initially said it was because of all those tap lands.
Maybe.
Right? Like, I know whenever I see EDH like competitive decks or tuned decks, they don't care if they take 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 damage from their lands by tapping them because they get the mana right now.
Yeah, you know what I won the game off the back of, or won a game off the back of yesterday. Just I realize it now as we're talking. I realize it right this second. City of Brass.
Oh yeah.
I took 7 damage from my own City of Brass, but it was my only white and my only red source for like 6 turns, and I was playing a 5-color deck. And
that's ironic because I bet you hated taking damage to get white mana, but you were totally fine taking damage to get red mana.
It was a whole thing, but yeah, like those, I didn't give a shit because it's like, well, I'm going to win.
And at the same time, I don't know how many times I've put myself below 20 by turn 4 or 5 in Animar because I play a full set of Pain lands and the Horizon lands. I don't give a shit. I just need the colors I need.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to win anyways. So if this deck's not doing that, and as a result, it's physically impossible for it to win on turn 3 or 4, I'm okay with this.
I'm fine with it too.
Okay. So maybe it is a 7 after all.
Maybe.
7.4.
I'm watching you, John. I'm watching you.
Watching him on EDHNM. You can watch us on YouTube. YouTube.com/Commander Cookout Podcast. We are on there. Brando is going to give you a full rundown of social media coordinates. Our deck giveaway that we forgot to mention, the fairy giveaway deck.
Yeah, fairy giveaway deck. Like or follow any of our giveaway posts that you can find at CCO Podcast or CCO Brando on Twitter. You can check us out on Facebook, CCO Podcast. You can find some more posts there. Also, if you like or comment or share any of the YouTube videos or the podcasts off Podomatic, if that's where you consume us, get us out there. You will get yourself entered in to win the fairy brawl deck. I can't remember the lady's name.
Alila Artful Provocateur. Hey, one of the ways you could enter on Twitter is telling Brando why he should play Brawl. Did your Twitter blow up?
Yes, my Twitter did blow up with reasons I should play Brawl. The most encouraging reason is I can play Torbrand and Wreck House. I'll bet you Torbrand is a fucking boss in Brawl, man.
Is there lots of red support for him, though?
Who cares, as long as there's red things that do 1.
Yeah, like 1/1s for 3.
Or 1/1s for 1. They don't print 1/1s for 3 anymore.
They don't print 1/1s for 1 anymore. Not in red. Only green gets those, and they give you extra land. Ugh. Goddamn green. What I want to know is when is all the other colors, except for fucking blue, going to start getting the love that green got over the last couple of years? Let me tell you that.
Never.
Right?
Never. Just give it to red. Just to red.
Or to white.
Nah, screw white. They suck.
There's no hope. There's no coming back for white.
I've had so many years where I just dunk on white and dump on white for having all the best shit. Well, who's laughing now, man? Fuck you, white.
White is the Jack Dawson at the end of Titanic. Didn't get on the door.
Yeah, you could get. There's room for you on this piece of wood, but stay in the water. F white. Screw it. It's a support color forever.
Is that the final thought of the day, or do you want to give us another one for Chulainn?
No. This deck's a 7. White sucks. And we'll see you again on another episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song for FaceToFaceGames.com, they're Canada's biggest magic store. Woo!